Taking a look at one stock that is surging today, we have Twitter, and this comes following reports that Elliott management has taken a large stake in the social media company. Now, Elliott will reportedly be pushing for sweeping changes, including possibly outing Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. We have Dan Halley back with us. And Dan, when we see the reaction in the stock, shares are up almost 7%. And it seems like this could be resonating with some shareholders.
Yeah, obviously, Twitter's been kind of an interesting company as far as social media goes because, unlike Facebook, it doesn't have that huge amount of revenue coming from advertising. And in fact, they've done things that could be construed as actively hurting their ability to get big-time advertising numbers. And that's because what they do is they sweep through the entire network and get rid of bot accounts. Those are fake accounts that don't do anything. They're not actual users, so they actually would end up hurting advertisers. But if they had left them and didn't change their metric to monetizable monthly active users, that may have been something that they could have continued to rely on and then not necessarily hurt their ability to draw in that kind of revenue that advertisers would offer and investors want to see. So Twitter's just this company that I think Jack Dorsey may not be long for because of not just Elliott, but because he has so much interest and invested time in Square. He always goes back and forth between different ways of approaching Twitter. Obviously, he discussed greatly the impact that it had on the 2016 election. They've tried to improve on that. How they respond to catastrophic events, they've tried to improve on that as well. And he always comes out and says, look, we want to change this. I'm sorry about this. We want to change X, Y, and Z. Whereas you look at something like a Facebook and their response is always, yeah, we're working on it. We'll get it done.
Well, what's interesting is when we take a look at some of the reactions, so obviously there's some enthusiasm out there with Twitter stock up 7%. I was going through some of the commentary from analysts today, and Michael Levine out from Pivotal Research, and he wrote in a note Monday that he sees, quote, a high chance of success for Elliott in seeking a replacement of Dorsey and then also obtaining those 4 board seats.
Yeah, and I think, it's interesting just because this is a unique position that Jack Dorsey is in, right? He's the CEO of Twitter and the CEO of Square. That's bizarre. And the fact that he has to split his time between a major social media company.
He's also spending time in Africa, too.
Right, yes. He said that he wants to work remotely in Africa part of this year. The fact that he's splitting his time between these 2 major companies, Square doing incredibly well, and Twitter, it's always kind of been the second fiddle as far as social networks go. And now it's working against the likes of TikTok for the younger generation. And you see more people on there talking about news. I think for something like Twitter, they really need to have someone that's probably more focused than Dorsey is right now. And, there have been passing jokes that he makes. There was a time where he had Elon Musk at a kind of company conference, and he said, do you want to run Twitter? So he's made offhanded comments like that before, jokingly, but I think there might be a grain of truth to there in which, Twitter is a stressful company to run. You could tell that seems to take its toll on him. It may be better for him to just take a step back and focus more on Square and still have, obviously, input with Twitter, but not necessarily as the CEO.
All right, Dan Halley, thank you.